With over 3,000 new cases, Mumbai reports highest daily rise in coronavirus cases. The number also surged in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Delhi. Lockdown could be an option, says Maharashtra Chief Minister, as COVID cases rise. Government imposes fresh restrictions, private offices and theatres to operate at 50% capacity till the 31st of March. Amid rise in COVID cases, Punjab Chief Minister orders massive statewide restrictions, educational institutions to stay shut. In Madhya Pradesh, lockdown on Sunday, March the 21st in Bhopal, Indore and Jabalpur. Two-time MP and Union Minister Babul Supriyo begins campaign for Bengal Assembly seat. Mamata Banerjee's all-out attack on BJP says don't want Duryodhan or Dushasan. Prime Minister Modi and US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin meet. Prime Minister conveys his best wishes to US President and outlines his vision for the strategic partnership between the two countries. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Our top stories: the worrying rise in coronavirus cases. Mumbai has reported its biggest spike in coronavirus cases ever. Mumbai recorded 3,062 COVID cases in the last 24 hours, the highest daily rise in the cases since the beginning of the pandemic. Karnataka too is reporting surge in cases. The state reported over 1,500 new cases and the active cases have gone past 12,000 now in the state. In Tamil Nadu, daily cases have crossed the 1,000 mark after 82 days. 1,087 new cases were reported in the state, 421 of them in Chennai. And Delhi cases have crossed the 700 mark. Delhi recorded 716 cases in the last 24 hours, which is the highest since the 27th of December last year. So with the cases rising, restrictions are being tightened across the country. So what are these restrictions? In Maharashtra, theatres, auditoriums and private offices will now be operating at 50% capacity. In Punjab, educational institutions except medical and nursing colleges are closed till the 31st of March. And in Punjab, which has announced fresh curbs, cinema halls will be operating at 50% capacity. Only 100 people will be allowed at malls at a time. And in Punjab, all private and government hospitals will vaccinate 7 days a week, 8 hours daily till the 31st of March. In Punjab, complete ban on all social gatherings in 11 worst hit districts. Gujarat has announced suspension of all offline classes and exams in schools and colleges in 8 municipal corporations. In Ahmedabad, night curfew has been extended by 1 hour. And in Ahmedabad, mall cinema halls to be shut on weekends. And in Madhya Pradesh, there will be lockdown on Sunday, the 21st of March in Bhopal, Indore and Jabalpur. Schools and colleges will be closed in these cities till the 31st of March. So the big worry remains the state of Maharashtra. The Chief Minister has said that lockdown may be an option to arrest the spread of the virus. But why are the cases rising there? There's now a debate on whether the new strain is behind the state's spike in cases.
To understand why Maharashtra has seen the highest number of COVID cases, almost 26,000 in a day, Dharavi in Mumbai is perhaps a good place to start. Asia's biggest slum has reported 30 cases in one day, the most since September. The government has ordered all private offices except those related to health and other essential services to function at 50% capacity, and has proposed rapid tests at malls. The Chief Minister now says a lockdown is an option.
पुन्हा लॉकडाऊन करणं हा एक मार्ग आहे, पण मला जसं त्या काळामध्ये जनतेने सहकार्य केलं त्या सहकार्याची पुन्हा अपेक्षा आहे.
So why are cases shooting up? Officials are divided. A member of the state's task force says it's probably because of a new strain. But central government officials reject that.
So clearly there is a different strain, whether it is homegrown or British strain or UK strain or African strain, we don't know. But it's a faster strain which has good recovery, low death rate, but it is rapidly spreading like wildfire. And you can see that Maharashtra is already in the second wave.
Mutants that we have found till now is only of the order of about 300 to 400. So it's very really difficult to say at this moment. In fact, we can say it quite with conviction that it is not a mutant which is spreading faster. It is probably simply laxity of people that is actually making numbers look worse.
Whatever the reason, the number of new cases are shooting up by the day, including small towns, a big concern flagged by the Prime Minister. Masking up, washing hands remain the best defense. But that's easier said than done.
पब्लिक मास्क ना लगाते नहीं,
गाली देते हैं, मारते हैं, पुलिस सपोर्ट करती है तो पुलिस को भी हाथापाई करते हैं। ये देखिए मेरे सर को लग गया, ये चोट लगी है। कल के दिन है ना पकड़े थे तो उनको है ना चोट लग गई है।
मैंने एग्री करा तभी फाइन दिया।
अब देखिए ये भी भरी दोपहरी में
लाइसेंस सर ने लिया है, सर ने लाइसेंस नहीं दे रहे मेरे, और आप बोले आप शाहनगर में आओ, हम दिखाते हैं।
With Pooja Bharadwaj and Meher Pandey, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Meanwhile, India on Friday crossed the milestone of 4 crore vaccinations. It was day 63 of India's vaccination drive, and over 18 lakh vaccine doses were given till 7 p.m. on Friday.
सेंटर्स की वो बहुत ज़्यादा सख्त हैं, जिसकी वजह से नए सेंटर्स खोलने में दिक्कत हो रही है। इसके बेसिस पे हम केंद्र सरकार को चाहिए।
To election news now, BJP has fielded 5 MPs for the assembly elections in Bengal. One of them, Babul Supriyo, he's even a union minister. Is it a BJP's master stroke or an act of desperation? Trinamool says it's BJP's desperation. And BJP, despite the very visible rebellion over candidates ever since the lists came out, says that it's a game changer.
Has Babul Supriyo been thrown into the deep end by the BJP, or will he set a winning streak for the party? At his launch campaign for the Tollygunge seat in Kolkata, Asansol MP, also union minister, exuded confidence.
Their constituencies are popular people, and this is for the larger cause. It is not about who are being fielded. It is whether the right people have been fielded, and I think if the High Command, if the party thinks so, that these are the people who should fight from the respective places, we will have to respect that.
Babul Supriyo is one of 5 MPs deployed by Bengal for BJP, along with Shapan Das Gupta, ex-Rajya Sabha, Nishit Pramanik Kuch Bihar, Jagannath Sarkar Ranaghat and Locket Chatterjee Hooghly. The BJP move has earned derision from the Trinamool Congress. The Trinamool points to open rebellion in BJP ranks over candidates. Many of the 289 candidates named so far originate from the Trinamool, and a couple of them have rejected tickets even after their names were announced. Time for all good men to come to the aid of the party, says BJP. Shapan Das Gupta is new to poll politics, but the 4 others are pro, know how to win elections, and they will inspire confidence, says BJP in rank and file.
This is not the first time that MPs have been deployed to fight an assembly election. This is not going to be the last time either. Remember, Bengal's current Chief Minister began as an MP too. The big question is, will the BJP MPs be able to bend it like Mamata Banerjee? With Anirudh Tripathi, Manideepa Banerjee, NDTV.
Meanwhile, Mamata Banerjee raised her campaign pitch against Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah and other BJP leaders touring the Bengal to the state of Bengal for polls. She also referred to Duryodhan and Dushasan.
Modi সরকার মনে রাখবেন একটা ইনকম্পিটেন্ট সরকার, একটা করাপ্টেড সরকার, একটা দাঙ্গাবাজ সরকার। দুটো হাত দেখছো, আমার এই দুটো হাত ভাঙা, আমার এই দুটো হাত অপারেশন হয়েছে। আমার এই আল্লাহটা দেখছো, এই আল্লাহটা মেরে থেতলে দিয়েছে। আমার কোমরে মেরেছে, আমার পেটে মেরেছে, আমার চোখে মেরেছে, আমার পাটা শুধু বাকি ছিল ইলেকশন সামনে ভাবলো মমতা ব্যানার্জিকে বেরোতে দেবো না পাটা চোট করে দিই চাই না দাঙ্গা চাই না লুঠেরা চাই না দুর্যোধন চাই না দুঃশাসন চাই না মির্জাফর চাই না মনে রাখবে খেলা হবে 27 তারিখ আর 27 তারিখের খেলায় বিজেপিকে মাঠের বাইরে করে দিতে হবে বোল্ড আউট করতে হবে
Now to poll-bound Assam, where Guwahati saw the largest turnout in any nomination this poll season as BJP's go-to man for the Northeast. Himanta Biswa Sarma filed his nomination papers. Ratndeep Chaudhary reports.
A massive show of strength by the BJP brought many parts of Guwahati to a standstill for some hours. This was the nomination of the party's go-to man, Himanta Biswa Sarma. The BJP optics seem to acknowledge Sarma's importance in the party at a time when there's speculation over why it has not projected the incumbent Chief Minister as the next one as well. He filed his nomination from Jalukbari, which he's represented for 20 years. The Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal and his Manipur counterpart were by Sarma's side.
যাতে ভারতীয় জনতা পার্টি অসম গণ পরিষদ আৰু ইউপিপিএল দলৰ প্ৰতিজন প্ৰাৰ্থীকে তেখেতে সকলে যাতে হিয়া উঠাই ৰাখিব হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মা sir, he is in our heart and I am saying this on record that we are all going to make him win the election with record votes.
This on a day Sarma's ex-boss Rahul Gandhi was campaigning in Upper Assam. He quit the Congress in 2015 after Gandhi backed then Tarun Gogoi when a majority group of MLAs led by Mr. Sarma wanted change in leadership.
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is in Upper Assam. You can see here party workers welcoming him at Chabua in Dibrugarh district of Upper Assam. Now Upper Assam has 47 constituencies and you can see here party workers welcoming him. Upper Assam is very important for the Congress. In 2016 assembly elections, the BJP and its allies had swept this region. They have won 35 out of the total 47 seats. But this region used to be a stronghold of the Congress. In fact, this is a region where you have a lot of tea gardens. The tea votes are very important. Out of the 47 constituencies going to poll in the first phase, at least 30 have tea garden population, tea workers who would decide the fate.
इसको आप अच्छी तरह सुनिए। कांग्रेस पार्टी की यहाँ सरकार आएगी तो 6 घंटे के अंदर आपका 351 नहीं, आपका 365 हो जाएगा।
बीजेपी का सरकार जो है उससे काम तो काफी अच्छा कर रहा है, लेकिन कुछ परेशान भी है लोगों का। उसी परेशान से मुक्त होने के लिए लोग अभी यानी मैं भी साथ हूँ कि देखना चाहता हूँ कि बीजेपी से कांग्रेस थोड़ा बेहतर चला सकता है कि नहीं।
In every Assam polls, the party that did well in Upper Assam eventually formed the government. With camera person Sanjay Chakrabarti and Ratndeep Chaudhary in Dibrugarh, Usama Shab for NDTV.
And in Kerala, all eyes are on the Palakkad Assembly constituency, known for its history of unpredictable election outcomes. The BJP is hoping to make that unpredictability work in its favour by pulling out of its hat E. Sridharan. The Metro Man is up against a 50 years younger firebrand Youth Congress leader Shafi Parambil. Sneha Koshi spoke to both of them.
A technocrat, famous as Metro Man, BJP's 88-year-old E. Sridharan rides on his reputation as he makes his political debut from Palakkad, taking on two-time MLA from the Congress, 38-year-old Shafi Parambil. Sridharan promises to make Palakkad a model constituency in 2 years. From infrastructure to waste management and jobs, he spells out deadlines to deliver solutions. And people listen as he has a record as a bureaucrat for timely delivery on schedule.
Definitely expecting Palakkad, as I mentioned earlier, the best mandalam in Kerala in 2 years' time. Cleanliness to this whole city, clean. It's only 2 months' job. You can completely change the face of the city in no time.
Sridharan says he believes BJP under Narendra Modi's leadership is the only option, though for now he is distancing himself on issues like love jihad.
But ideologically, do you see eye to eye with BJP? Do you totally agree with everything that they do, including, these, what you mentioned as controversial issues?
I may not agree entirely, but you see the overall situation. Unless we have a party like BJP now to come to rule the state will be gone.
While the BJP campaign focus is on E. Sridharan's corruption-free professionalism in building bridges, tunnels and metro, sitting MLA Shafi Parambil is relying on his record of delivering as the elected representative from here for the last 2 terms. Sitting Congress MLA Shafi Parambil could manage to increase his victory margin by more than double when compared to 2011. However, for BJP as well, the vote share has increased by around 17,000 votes when you compare it to 2011, increasing its targets. Shafi Parambil's familiarity and relationship with his local voters is apparent.
I don't have a single penny left. I have proposed every single penny out of it, and so much work has to be done also, technical things happens, but there is not even a single penny left to propose. But this constituency from 7,403, they gave me strong support and they made it 17,483. That was the biggest of the lot till date.
In the recent local body polls, the BJP had retained the municipality for a second consecutive year in the constituency, and the UDF won 2 out of the 3 panchayats, leaving 1 with the left. The CPM-led front left with a formidable challenge in this constituency.
E. Sridharan was it's a Kerala metro man, and Shafi Parambil is a Palakkad a favorite man. It's unpredictable, and it was a tight competition. I expect that.
ഇത്രയും വികസനങ്ങൾ മുന്നോട്ട് വെച്ച സമയത്ത് CPM ഇനിയിപ്പോൾ എന്തായാലും ബാക്കിലോട്ട് നിൽക്കില്ല, പാലക്കാട് ഇനി വിട്ടുകൊടുക്കില്ല എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു.
With camera person SP Babu, Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
Right, time for a short break. On the other side, we'll get you the latest in the Antilia probe in Mumbai. NIA has taken Sachin Vaze to that spot near Antilia to create the crime scene. We'll get you that story on the other side. Welcome back. The NIA, which is probing the Antilia bomb threat case, has claimed to have uncovered more evidence against suspended Mumbai police officer Sachin Vaze. The NIA team reached Antilia with Sachin Vaze in the night to recreate the crime scene.
February 26, a day after the suspicious Scorpio with 20 gelatin sticks was found near Mukesh Ambani's house, suspended Mumbai police officer Sachin Vaze was seen with the owner of the Scorpio car, Mansukh Hiren, when he came to the Crime Intelligence Unit office few days before Hiren was found dead in a creek on March 5. This unit, headed by Vaze, had been handed over the probe. Mansukh Hiren had told CIU that on February 17, he had left his Scorpio car on the Vikhroli highway, which was later stolen. Sources say Vaze and Mansukh Hiren met in the fort area of Mumbai on February 17. CCTV footage in possession of the investigating agencies, the Maharashtra ATS and the NIA, showed the two were together for 10 minutes on February 17. The NIA has now seized the white Land Cruiser along with the black Mercedes in which Vaze brought Mansukh Hiren to his office on Feb 26. Sachin Vaze is now in NIA custody and Mansukh Hiren is dead. The Maharashtra ATS is probing his suspicious death. Meanwhile, Home Minister Anil Deshmukh flew to Delhi to meet NCP Chief Sharad Pawar. He said the state government is cooperating with the NIA in the probe.
ये दोनों की जांच NIA और उधर में ATS कर रही है और ये जांच में NIA को राज्य शासन का पूरा सहयोग है, उसमें अच्छी तरीके से जांच होना चाहिए और जो भी इसमें आरोपी हो उनके नाम आगे आना चाहिए ताकि कानूनन उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई कर सके.
However, the Shiv Sena in an editorial in its newspaper questioned the intentions behind the NIA probe. The BJP is using the contradictory statements to attack the government.
क्या अनिल देशमुख जी का इशारा ये शिवसेना की ओर है कि शिवसेना की ओर से बहुत बड़ी गलतियां हुई है? किसकी ओर उनका इशारा है? इन दोनों दलों का आपसी मनमुटाव, इनका आपसी संघर्ष, उसी के कारण कानून व्यवस्था बिगड़ी हुई है.
The hearing of the anticipatory bail plea of Sachin Vaze will now be heard on March 30. The state police is likely to seek his custody to conduct its probe into the death of Mansukh Hiren. With camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, Sunil Singh, Saurabh Gupta, Joshua Chin for NDTV.
The other big story, Prime Minister Modi and US Defense Secretary Lloyd J. Austin met on Friday in Delhi. The PM said that it was a pleasure to meet US Defense Secretary, and India and US are committed to our strategic partnership that is a force for global good. The government said that Prime Minister outlined his vision for the strategic partnership between the two countries and requested Secretary Austin to convey his best wishes to President Biden. US statement has said that Secretary Austin commended India's leadership role in the Indo-Pacific and growing engagement with like-minded partners across the region to promote shared goals. Several school and college students took to the streets in the national capital to protest against climate inaction. The march, organized by Fridays for Future. Sonakshi Chakravarti reports.
Over the last few months, in the recent past, you would have seen several students from schools and colleges across major cities across the country come out on the streets to protest and to voice their concerns regarding one topic, and that topic is climate. Several students from schools and colleges have gathered since about 3 p.m. They marched from ITO to the Delhi Secretariat. They were stopped in the between. They halted for a while. They did a sit-in protest because they didn't have further permission. But now they are outside the Delhi Secretariat. Come to you first, ma'am. You're a parent yourself amongst the students and children here. What is your name? Where have you come from? And why do you think this is all important?
So I'm Bhavreen Kandhari, and we are here obviously for our children and their future. As you know, as we stand in the most polluted capital, this is the third consecutive year that we've been given this tag of the most polluted capital of the world.
Right.
And there is just no respite to it. And as you know, that every second when you're breathing, no matter how much I can wash my vegetables and clean my kitchens and food and water, my children are still breathing the toxic poison every second. So this is a concern that I think every parent has or must have.
My issue is like for whole country and the center government or all the authorities. के जो environment से directly affect होते हैं, उनका directly उनका पूरा habitat, उनका रहना, उनका पूरी lifestyle change हो जाता है. तो हम लोगों को सिर्फ हमारे लिए नहीं, जिनको indirectly थोड़ा effect होगा, थोड़े time बाद effect होगा, हमें आज जो हो रहा है उसका effect.
I just want to say one thing. We are the future generation of this country, and in this movement we are here to stay. We will stay here till our demands are heard and till the time the government listens to us.
Right.
We are asking for the most basic right, the right to breathe.
Right.
And if the government all they care about is votes, let me remind them, we are the future generation, and next elections we'll be voting.
Right.
So if they do not listen to us right now, you won't be elected.
Thank you for speaking to us. With camera person Sushil Rathi in New Delhi, Sonakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.
Right, that's a wrap on this bulletin from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.